So let's install Nginx and configure our domain with server blocks. So you can actually have more than one domain in your droplet with multiple websites, multiple domains. I'm not talking about subdomains either. I'm talking about real domain names with just separate websites. I'll show you how within this little tutorial. You would basically just repeat it, but let's update the server. So let's copy this, paste it in. You should still be logged into your user, not the root. I mean, you can do it with the root. It's just not recommended. You just have to be real careful. Alright, let's install Nginx. Next step. Y, enter. Let's see which ports are allowed. Once that's done. Yes, okay, so just hit enter for that. Let it finish. Alright, so let's paste that in, which was see the status. So which ports are allowed. So far, just port 80 and 443, which is HTTPS and HTTP. But it'll be different for Nginx. We need to allow it for Nginx as well. So let's just put in Nginx full. Okay, see the rule was added. Let me clear this up. Alright, let's verify the changes. See the Nginx full. Alright. Alright, grab your IP address and paste it into the browser. This is like a little curl shortcut. So if you paste this in here, your IP address will pop up. So if you want to just grab it real quick, just copy from here. And let's paste it in. You're going to see that Nginx is working. Alright, so you should get the welcome page, welcome to Nginx, once you put your IP address in the browser. Okay, back to the blog. So now that that's working, where are we at? Okay, we're going to point a domain name or multiple domains to your website. Let's start out by step 1. So create a directory for your domain in its own HTML folder inside of the root www location. So we're going to sudo make dir. So let's copy this, paste it in, but don't hit enter yet because we got to change it. Just hit the back arrow, and right here where it says your domain with the star, delete all that and put the actual domain name that you're going to use for the particular website. Mine's is buy from cart.xyz. Then you just hit enter, so you make a directory within our root of the server. Alright, so these are numbered 1 through 5. Let's see. Okay, so let's assign ownership to that directory. So remember, we're going to always have to change where it says your domain, so I don't have to keep repeating. So let's paste this in and change it up. Just hit the back arrow so you don't delete the HTML. Like, okay. Permissions for your web roots. Number 3. So backspace. Okay, so let's go inside of our domain HTML location. We want to cd into that folder. Alright, now that we're inside, let's see, the next step would be to clone a GitHub repository inside that location. Make sure you add a space and then a period at the end to get the contents of the repository. So we don't want to get the folder. We want to get just the contents of the folder that's within our GitHub repository. That's why we put the space and dot at the end. So we already installed Node. So let's clone the website. So I'm going to go to GitHub real quick and grab one of my repositories. I have one called Shopping Cart Backend. You can see right here, just going to click on code and copy this spot. Whichever node, whatever your node project is. I have a server.js as my server. So let me just close this. So first though, you want to type in git, well, sudo first, sudo, then git clone space, and then shift, let's insert that git. So let's get a space and then a dot. Alright, let's hit enter. And it's done. Make sure your repository is public. Otherwise you might get some kind of error or something. So just make your, even if it's temporarily, just make your repository public for a little bit to clone it, and then go ahead and make it private again if it's a private site. Okay, so yeah, so for Node you want to npm install with the sudo, so let's paste that in. Install all our packages like our Node modules and our package.json, express, whatever dependencies, you just put install. Okay, so PM2 we want to install. PM2 is going to be like, well, it's a process manager. It's going to run your Node.js application in the background, so you don't have to always run it on npm start or npm run dev with like the port 5000. So with PM2, let's just copy these commands. So there's 1, 2, 3 steps that we got to do. Alright, step 1. Alright, once that's installed, so whatever your server is running on, I'm using like start, npm start. So instead of that though, you would put sudo npm start and then maybe your app.js or whichever like name that you gave to your server. Okay, so I'm going to run that, hit enter. Let's set PM2 to start on reboots. It's just an extra step you got to do. I'll probably leave a link to the documentations as well in the description. Create a new server block for your domain. Open it with nano. Or let's create a new server block for the domain and open it up with nano. So copy this blue clipboard and let's paste this in. Change your domain. So by alright, so nano's opened. So we want to paste this code in. You got to change your domain in 3 different spots. So this is our server block, so let's paste this in. You could also copy it, but I made it easier for you. In a little bit we're going to come back to it as well, and we're going to change this up and paste in our reverse proxy to whichever port you're using, like port 5000 in your Node.js. But for now, let's leave it like this. Let's not forget to change your domain name in 3 different spots. So use your arrow keys to move around and delete where it says your domain with the star. Make sure to not to delete the / and go inside there. Okay, so just like here, arrow key, let's go down. Don't delete the 3 W's, but do delete the star. So we're showing both our domain name and then it with the World Wide Web. So let's hit Control X to save, hit Y for yes, and enter. So that's set up. So let's enable the file by creating a link from it to the site's enabled directory. So we'll have to change it there. Copy and paste it in. Let me hit clear to bring it up here. Alright, paste it in. So arrow key. Make sure you always delete the star as well. Alright. And then enter. Next, let's remove the comment from our hash bucket. This is just another step we got to configure. You can read about it in the documentations, but it's not too important to understand. Just paste that in, hit enter. Right within the HTTP, let's arrow down to where you see the server names hash bucket, where it says like 64. You just want to remove this comment. So Control X to save, and then Y, enter. Alright, so for Node.js projects, follow this step below and add to location. So we're going to edit the sites available in Nano again. Okay, so we're going back to that one folder we created for our server block, and we're going to add this reverse proxy. So first let's nano in, domain, XYZ. Alright, let's arrow down to where the location section is and go inside of it. Just delete this line, so this backspace. Delete all of this and make sure you're still inside of this location object. And let's copy this little code here, and you can right click and paste it in. So whatever port you were using in your Node application, you can change your port to like 3000 or whatever port you're using, but that's the only thing you would need to change. Then hit Control X, Y, and enter. So your proxy is reverse proxy is all set up. So let's restart Nginx to enable those changes. Paste that in. It says put your domain name in the browser and see it working. let's see if this works. It might only work with HTTP for right now because we didn't set up our SSL certificate yet with Let's Encrypt. It's free, but let's see if it's working in the browser right now. So put in your domain name, and if it's not working, click on it and you'll see this arrow, and maybe remove the S. I'm not sure if it'll work or not. Remove that S and then hit enter. If it's not, that's okay. It keeps going to HTTPS. So let's first put in the SSL certificate just to be safe. So step 1, paste that in the certbot. It says Y for yes, and then enter. Let's see. It might ask you for just hit enter right here. Let it finish. I gotta change these numbers. I'll fix them after the video. Alright, paste that in. Allow HTTPS through the firewall. It's 2 different commands in one. Okay, so hit enter. Never mind. Okay, obtaining the SSL certificate. So you're going to change your domain twice in here. Let me make this full screen. Alright, backspace, keep the www. XYZ, and then back over here without the 3 W's. Okay, domain, and hit enter. So into your email address, this capital Y, so make sure you put your caps on for this one. Same here. So it's requesting the certificate, so just wait. And it'll say successful. Okay, let me bring this off to the side again. Let me hit clear. Okay, what do we got next? Verify the certbot. So let's just paste in some kind of to see if it's set up. So yeah, we have some kind of, it runs twice daily, so it'll renew every like 90 days. That's just how not PM2, but the SSL certificate with Let's Encrypt. It's totally free. Let's try our domain name again, and it's working. Alright, see, it has the lock there, secure with SSL. So it's working with HTTPS port 443. We are all set. So if you ever want to add a additional domain, not just like a subdomain, a real domain, all you would do is go right here to, let's see. Well, of course, you want to repeat and add the domain name to your IP. So add another one and just repeat those same steps in your DigitalOcean. But then you would just scroll down to, so create the directory for your domain. You would assign ownership to it again, permissions. Then you would clone that another repository within that directory. So you're gonna have your domain within the www location of var, just another one with its own HTML folder. Then you just make sure you cd into it, clone your repository,